All right, today's guest is Eddie of Eddie And The Getaway. Based out of Nashville, Tennessee, Eddie's been growing a reputation for having great songs and great live shows that fans flock to. Fresh off the release of his latest single, Silver Lining, welcome Eddie.
Hey
Hey,
Eddie.
what's going on?
Hey, thanks for being here, man. We appreciate you being here. So we were talking a little bit before the interview, and you mentioned you moved to Nashville about a year ago. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Your move from you said Arizona, right? That's where you're
Arizona,
from.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I moved about a year ago with me and my buddy Christian, who's the other half of Eddie and the Getaway. He plays drums, and he and I have been playing together in Arizona since we were like 13. So we moved out here a year ago, and since then we've released 3 songs, and done 2 different music videos, as well as like on the writing side. For me, it's been really cool living here in Nashville, just because there's so many talented writers, and I feel like being a young artist and a young songwriter, it's really cool to be able to have so many successful, like, top of the game, executive songwriters. Just you might walk, I've run into a lot of them, just at different restaurants or bars, or just
No
hanging
kidding.
out, and it's cool just how nice everyone is. And it's been a great experience so far.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So it's been about a year. You say you've met a ton of these writers and everything. So do you write most of your own stuff, or do you collaborate with people, or kind of what's your writing process there?
Yeah, so I previous to moving to Nashville, I was usually like 100% either by myself or with the producer I met when I was 17, which his name's Johnny K, which he's a very successful producer. He's done like the Plain White Tees and Three Doors
Hmm.
Down, Disturbed, Talk, like a lot of some of the heavier rock stuff, but is also like super versatile as a songwriter. And I learned a lot of kind of how I songwrite from him, and then also studying favorite artists like Tom Petty and Bruce Springsteen and U2, like all those great bands and artists and stuff. So it's kind of depends. Right now I've been collaborating. It's usually me and either 1 or 2 other writers, but I'm always a part of a song, even if I'm not the sole songwriter. If I'm a co-writer in it, I always write my own music.
Nice, nice. That's fantastic. Yeah, and Nashville is the place to go when you want to write with other people and
Dude,
get
heck
that that whole collaboration. So when did you start playing guitar?
I started playing guitar. I think I was 7 or 8. So I've been playing for a while. I started playing on the drums when I was, I think I was 4 when I started. I got my first little drum set. I obviously didn't take it super seriously being a 4-year old, but I remember like getting some drum lessons and kind of going from there. And then guitar was always something that really appealed to me, just because of this is a very typical answer, but like guys like Slash, like
Yeah.
the original Guitar Hero, Eddie Van Halen, those guys like that. And I just thought, it was the coolest thing in the world, just seeing how uh, people could be on stage and just control the emotion of so many people. Not like in a psycho way, but like in like an
Yeah,
amazing
right.
way, like really influence how people feel. And there's always been something about songwriting and playing guitar and all that kind of stuff for me when it comes to that.
So would you say that's one of your motivating factors? One of the reasons you got into music is to, I guess, connect with.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the hardest part about quarantine for me is the lack of shows. I've been lucky enough to I've been growing a pretty decent following on TikTok and been playing a lot of shows via kind of like one-to-one connecting with people and being like, hey, we're out in Kentucky. Will you come play we're having a block party. Will you come play it? And I was like, sure, that kind of thing. But it's definitely been because I've been playing. I basically grew up in bars, started playing when I was like 13, and since then, basically 13 to 19 before moving here. Uh, my drummer Christian and we've played over like 300 shows together, just doing that around the Southwest Arizona and Mexico and California and stuff. So it's definitely been about connecting with people. Is absolutely the most important thing to me with music. Making people feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. Have you seen that in people's eyes? I know that that's one of the best feelings as a
Oh, dude,
musician.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
we've been lucky enough to play some awesome shows. We got to open up for this group called Galantis. They're like a big EDM group, but we got to open up for them at University of Arizona State, or that was a weird way of saying it, Arizona State. We got to play open for them, and that was like 10,000 students, which was insane.
Wow.
So we've done like shows like that. We play a lot of college shows previous to quarantine, at least. And it's definitely the coolest thing to see, because a lot of these kids were kind of their first like real, rock show or whatever they've ever seen. So it's like a new experience, and being able to like, get people just so into the music and, singing words by the third chorus if they've never heard the song, that kind of stuff is the reason why I do it, for sure.
Man, that's fantastic. That's awesome. How many albums do you have out right now?
Right now it's only the 3 singles.
The 3 singles, that's right.
Yeah, 3 singles right now, but we're gonna be releasing another song that I just finished mixing today. It's my first song that I did wrote it, produced it, mixed it, and then gonna master it as well. Which has been like a total different art that I've kind of learned in quarantine, is how to do it all yourself versus having other people do it. But it's we're gonna be releasing a new song every 5 or 6 weeks now.
Oh wow!
Because I've just been holding back on songs, and I feel like it's a time to let the music out now.
Yeah. Did you use quarantine time to write a lot of new material, or did you have a lot kind of saved up, or what?
Yeah, I had a lot saved up, but it's definitely cool because even though I moved here like February of 2020, which was only a month before quarantine started, I still was able to meet a lot of writers, even if it was over Zoom. And it was funny because a lot of the people that I started writing with at the beginning of quarantine, I'd never actually met in person. So it was only like the last couple of months I was able to meet these people. I had these total like digital Zoom friendships with, for like a couple of months, and then get to hang with them in person and stuff. So I have been able to write a lot over quarantine, which is good.
That's awesome. And it sounds like you have a ton of singles coming up too, so that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get to play a lot, or I guess there weren't many shows happening anywhere, but
I was able to play quite a bit in Nashville. Nashville was nice because a lot of the writers rounds, the acoustic writers rounds were still open, and depending on where you go in the South, especially, was kind of, some were more flexible and some were a little bit more strict with the shows and stuff. But obviously, I didn't want to put anyone in danger or be a part of disrupting the craziness or whatever. But it was. I mean, it definitely was slow, but I've been able to still get out there and play shows in Kentucky, Illinois, some of the different more rural areas. So it was fun.
That's awesome. Do you have any shows planned coming up, or?
Yeah, so I'm playing here in town on March 11th at this place called Alley Taps with our new bass player, who I'm super excited about. I met him only a couple months ago, so we're a trio now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which I'm super stoked about. And then we're also playing up at Miami of Ohio later in March, which will be cool. And then we got some shows out in California. We're playing more towards May, and then we're putting together with another band of mine, or one of my friends' bands. We're doing like a backyard party tour in May, just because
nice.
We want to stay connected to our fans and make new friends, and it'll be a good time. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. That's important. You said you got a bassist then, huh? So
yeah,
you're a trio
got a bassist now. Yes.
Nice. When did he join? You said like a little bit.
Yeah, he just recently joined. The March 11th show is going to be our first show together, but he's just crazy talented. Literally, like, I met him because I was basically trying to find people that wanted to go like I like extreme sports a lot. So I was like, all right, who's going to be crazy enough to go wakeboarding with me in the middle of, February, where it's like 48-degree water, but I want to do it. You know what I mean? So I've been doing this like year-round wakeboarding thing. And my buddy who originally was doing it with me kind of bailed out because it was freezing in January when we did it. But anyways, I was just looking around and we became friends because of like kind of the extreme sports stuff that we like to do. And then I like heard him play bass and I was like, yo, dude, like we should jam sometime. So we started jamming, and it was just like super natural, and he's like insanely good too. So that always helps.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. Well, so let's talk about your move to Nashville for a sec. Was that a hard transition to go from Arizona to Nashville?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. I left. I left. So I am finishing up Arizona State right now. Is online my college
Oh,
degree.
cool.
So I'll be finishing that up in the next couple of months. But I basically was just like, um, I need to get out to Nashville. It was like this like weird. It doesn't. I don't want to say epiphany, but it was like one of those moments where I was like driving home from one of my friend's house in like November of 2019. And I was like, I got to do this. Like, I don't know why, just I feel like I need to move. So I called up my buddy Kevin, who he's an agent here in town, booking
Oh,
agent.
cool.
And he'd been one of my friends in Arizona. He's quite a bit older, but I was like, dude, I need to get out there. Like, should I do it? And he's like, do it, man, let's go. So, found a place to live, and then 2 months later decided to move out. And definitely the transition was not the easiest thing in the world, just because moving here and knowing one person
Yeah.
and being like, all right, let's go. Like, I'm leaving a totally perfect, normal, all my friends in Arizona and my family and everything I've known, and just going to this totally new place all the way across the country. But I'm super happy about it. I'm glad I did it.
That's awesome. It sounds like you've been able to connect more with a lot more people than just the one buddy that you had there.
Yeah, that was the goal. That was the goal for sure.
That's awesome. What advice would you have to somebody who's thinking of moving to Nashville? Like, what's something maybe to watch for? Maybe make that move a little easier.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would say, the nice part about Nashville is it's such a big small town.
Yeah.
Like where it's like people are like, obviously you're gonna run into the people who aren't as nice, but for the night, I've never been in a town or a city that people are literally just so like loving. It's weird. Like I almost like came here. I was like, I'm so used to like I came from a very like I don't know. Arizona was kind of an iffy music scene, like for what I was trying to do, and it was kind of like weirdly competitive at times. And then I moved to Nashville, and it was just like everyone's super competitive, but super like supportive at the same time. Like they're all like, like you can be successful and I can be successful, we can be successful together. And I guess I would just say like, just meet as many people as you can. Cause you never know like when someone could help you or when you could help someone. And just, I don't know, just do it is what I would say.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So yeah, you said that you were going to school before you moved here. Now you're doing school online for Arizona State. So what are some of your goals like with music is going forward? Are you studying music or are you studying something different? And
so I'm studying right now. I'm studying I'm getting a Bachelor of Science in Business Entrepreneurship.
Oh, cool.
So I'm doing that, which has been kind of cool because I've been able to learn the business side of like how to actually run a business, because at the end of the day, being a musician or an artist is your own business, and just understanding that kind of stuff has been really interesting and challenging at the same time. And I definitely am excited to be done with school so I can focus full time on music and stuff. But I mean, the end of the day, the goal is definitely just continuing releasing songs and growing a community of people that love what I do, and being able to share that with as many people as possible. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. The business end is one of those things that it's so important, but it eludes a lot of not eludes, I guess. It's just not what a lot of people choose to focus on in that regard. But I think that is very important. Like you said, I mean, it is your business. Like if you want to live, if you want to,
that's true. You got to be able to sustain, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's awesome. And doing that with your music, man, there's nothing better, that's like, oh man, that's so cool. I totally respect that.
Thank you.
Well, that's super cool, man. So you said you have a single coming up in about 5 weeks, and then you're gonna do one every 5 weeks after that. You're doing some shows. You're doing a show March 11th,
Yep.
and then you're gonna do some house party shows in May, right? And some
Yep.
like kind of like basement shows. So, do you have any? Are you traveling for any of those shows beyond Tennessee or?
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing some shows down in Florida, Alabama. It's mainly like a Midwest and East Coast tour, but like going all the way up and down the East Coast. And we're just kind of putting it together right now. So if you know, since this is like an interview or whatever, if there's anybody who wants us to come play your town or your city, hit us up on social media
For
and
sure.
we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll post that for you, man.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
We like to help out anybody, however we can with this whole thing. But that sounds like a ton of fun, man. What's your impression of touring? It sounds like you've done it before, kind of in the Arizona, California area.
Yeah.
Do you love the road or?
I do. There's always been something, and that's like why the name Eddie and the Getaway kind of came about. Actually, is the getaway aspect of the music. Because if you listen to my music, it definitely has like this sense of like freedom and like escapism to it. And that's been the cool thing about touring for me. Is anytime I've done it, is just being able to hit the open road has always been something that's been like really special. And just feeling like you can be yourself 100%.
Yeah.
So I definitely love touring.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Touring is one of those things that I think, a lot of people that we've talked to either love it or they don't. So the fact that you named your, that's part of the name and
Yep.
a theme, that's fantastic, man.
Thank
The
you.
whole open road thing. Well, so one thing I like to ask the artists we have on is, what's something that you went through? So kind of advice, I guess. Something that you hated going through, maybe that you didn't think was good for you, type of thing, and then in hindsight, you're really glad you did.
Yeah. I would say the first one was when I was in high school. I did this Battle of the Bands for Alice Cooper, and he had this this Alice Cooper's Proofs in the Pudding is what it was called, in Arizona, and I think there was 96 or 97 bands and artists that were competing in this thing, and it was basically you had to be between the ages 13 and 25, and so we were my band and I were 15, and we did this competition. The year before we got second, and then this year we ended up winning it. That year we ended up winning it, but I had broken my arm wrestling my buddy, like the second round, and I just snapped it right in half. I couldn't even play guitar.
Oh my gosh.
Crap, how am I gonna do this? So I like went to my dad. I was like, dude, I gotta do this somehow still. He's like, okay. So we started thinking about some stuff. We ended up making like a guitar stand with a mic stand to like hold the guitar so I could like shift my waist to like play.
Oh my gosh, really?
But yeah, ended up taking that thing to like make this guitar stand, and ended up winning it, which was like a very much like a you have to like find a way, and that's always been like kind of the way that I've approached music or anything that I do is like so many times it's not gonna go your way, and I feel like what's helped me the most get to this point in my career, and obviously I'm not even at close to the point I want to be at, but it's just like trying to be as persistent as possible and trying to have that mindset of nothing should be given to me, but if I can stay and work at it and like try to be a good person and be the best I can be, then I'm hoping that something will happen. You know what I mean? So definitely been like, that was a big learning lesson for me that I've taken, since being 15 and trying to take that for the rest of my life.
Well, I think that's important because, if you look at how successful musicians have achieved their success, take a look at the Beatles, for example. They're a classic one because the Beatles. But they had so many chances, I guess. They had so many what most people would consider failed opportunities or missed opportunities or something like that. But they kept going. It's not about all those missed chances. It's about the one that works. And that's almost impossible to plan out. You can't really do that. But it all comes down to what you're saying.
Yeah.
You have to make the best with what you have, essentially, and just keep pushing and make it work no matter what. I am interested in your guitar stand that you were talking about. So how would you do that with that?
Yeah, it was crazy. So basically we had a mic stand, and we chopped off the top of the mic stand. So it's just the basically moving kind of the pole part that would go up and down. And then we took a wall mount for a guitar that would like hold the guitar on underneath like this.
Nice.
And then my dad soldered it onto this thing so that it could be adjustable depending on how high I needed it. So then we'd stick the guitar in there, plug it in, and it would sit by itself, but I would be able to walk up to the mic stand and basically play it and like kind of move my shoulders to play the different chords and stuff. It was just, I'm glad I didn't think about it too much, because there'd be times where I would like move wrong and I could feel my bone move. It would be horrible.
Oh man.
Like, I wasn't about it. I was definitely happy to be done with that. That, as when I was, so but it was weird. It was definitely weird.
So you broke your left arm, and so you could go up and you could still pick and strum and everything, but it was just you just had to kind of shimmy your body, huh?
Yeah, it was basically I had to basically shimmy. That's the best way to describe it.
Oh man, that's so cool though, man. That's a good story. That'd be fun. You should post a picture of that stand. I would like to.
I might have to, man. I'll do that.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, hey, thanks for joining us today, man. It's been awesome having you. We would love to reconnect with you here in a little bit. Probably after you've done some of those house tours, and when we post this, we'll totally mention that you're.
Thank you.
That you guys are just trying to put this together, and anybody who's interested to reach out to you. We anything we can do to help you, let us know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're kind of on the other end of the country, but the internet.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey Bowie, do you have anything else that you would like to ask? Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm curious because you played a lot of shows. What's a piece of advice you would give another artist who wants to either start playing shows or get into touring that you wish you'd have received a lot earlier in your career?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, because when I started playing shows, I didn't really know what to expect. Like I definitely had a lot of like awesome people kind of give me advice and stuff, but I'd say the biggest part is like how long it takes until you're actually going to play a quote unquote awesome show. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's the patience with developing the actual art of the live show, and like the transitions and all those different things I think are like so important and make the live show like feel like a live show versus like, all right, we're going to play song by song by song. But I would say just take everything, like take any opportunity you can, which I feel like is something I did do, but maybe could have done more even. I'd say that's probably my biggest advice.
Love it. Thanks.
That's awesome. And that actually brings a good question that I would like to ask you. When you play, do you use backing tracks, or do you guys play just what you can play?
Yeah. So if we're doing a 2-piece, because we started off as like a 4-piece band, then a 3-piece, then a 4-piece, and then 2 members left, and that kind of thing. But when it's the 2 of us playing, because it's just guitar, vocals, and drums and vocals, because Christian does backup vocals as well, we'll do just a bass track, just like a regular electric bass track. But if it's the 3-piece, we usually just do no tracks.
Oh, okay, cool. So no like synths or anything. It's like pretty organic sound.
That's definitely something I'd like to get into more though, because I've been getting more into like the Night Game and the 1975 and some of those more like alternative pop rock bands that do take the synth, and that's one thing that I've I never really realized how much I loved in a live show until seeing, like, exactly what you're saying, the synth stuff. So I might be checking that out pretty soon, honestly.
That's awesome. There's something to be said though for the kind of organic sound of just, hearing what you can. I mean, either one's good, really, but it's, they're both definitely an art. So that's awesome. I'd love to come see you when we're down in Nashville, man.
Heck yeah, man. Just hit me up. I'll give you guys my I'll shoot you guys my number and we can stay in touch, man.
Fantastic. That would be great, man.